Now, how would you have got to work 100 years ago? Perhaps your great-grandparents travelled on this very tram. Leeds car number 345 celebrates its centenary this week. Once it would have trundled from Pudsey to Roundhay and all the stops in between. It's been beautifully restored at the Leeds Tramway village in Derbyshire. Mark Ansell has bought a penny ticket to ride.
We're travelling back a century to a time when this electric tramcar was the new way to travel to work in Leeds. Take me back 100 years. What would it have been like riding the tram?
Crushed, because it being the cheapest form of transport, people would want to use it, and it would be a slow ride because stops would be within a quarter of a mile of each other, and the conductor would have to get round everybody to collect their fares.
100 years ago, the upstairs here was used by workmen. You were allowed to smoke up here, and it's rather cramped. Everyone else sat or stood downstairs, where smoking was forbidden, as you can see. A bit more head height, a bit more room, but still, it would have been quite packed in here. Back in 1921, travelling by tram was a cost-effective option.
They would travel within Leeds city centre, but also out to the suburbs like Pudsey, Guiseley, places like that. And it would only have cost them 1 old penny to travel within Leeds and 2 old pennies to travel outside Leeds. And interestingly enough, when the buses took over, the bus cost would have been 7 old pennies.
By 1948, the 345 tramcar was taken out of service, overtaken by buses and motorcars. It ended up in a dilapidated state at Leeds Tramway village, where it had to be extensively restored.
It was virtually stripped down to its frame and then built up with new materials where necessary, but some of the features we tried to retain, like the signs themselves, obviously cleaned up and restored over a period of 4 or 5 years.
You can take a ride on the 345 yourself when the museum reopens a week on Monday, 100 years on from when it first trundled along the tram tracks in Leeds. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North, Leeds in Derbyshire.